Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and I could not let Dale go. I'm sorry. Dale Sanders deserves to spend a little time in studio. Frank doesn't mind.
No.
Frank loves to hear Dale as we talk on Outdoors with Larry Ray. And, of course, as I said, third Saturday, Frank Barton, my good friend from Barton Power Sports and Kubota Tractors and all those good kind of things in his business. But has been part of the Outdoors with Larry Ray team a long time. Shelby McCall has taken care of us, but Dale was getting up. Then I said, well, let's hold on now. I still got more time here with Dale. I'm not ever want to cut Dale short because I never know what I might miss as he goes out the room. So,
well, you would have missed that story about the alligator that I almost stepped on.
That's the segue.
I want to hear
Dale,
about that.
Tell us about the alligator that you almost stepped on. Larry is speechless.
Well, I was hiking in central Florida, somewhere around the Ocala, matter of fact, in the Ocala National Forest, and it was a swampy area called Rice Creek, and I had to go through. I was all by myself and all, and it had been raining, the water was high, and I was walking along this little creek on the edge of it. That day, the sun happened to be shining for the first time in a week, and I could see this log ahead of me, but I was looking really over it because I usually don't look close at the logs until I get close enough to them to step on them.
Yeah.
When I got up there close enough to step on the log, I looked down, and
It wasn't a log?
it wasn't a log. It was an alligator. And about the same time that I put my pole down right by his head, I use hiking poles.
Yes.
And he looked up and saw me. He must have been sleeping because it was warm that day. And when he saw me and I saw him about the same time, he took off, boom, straight off to the left into the, because he's a little bit on an angle.
Yes.
And he took off into the water really fast. Alligators are really afraid of humans. They really are. If they get a chance to get away, they will.
If you step on their head, they might be a little irritated.
I have an idea that he may have even run then, but I don't want to step on the head to find out to make sure. But I tell you one thing, I sure learned how to run backwards.
Oh, you did. You did the back one.
Yeah.
Now, those steps don't count.
I didn't have time to turn around.
You can't count those steps because that's backwards, and everything. But
that was a pretty frightening moment.
Now, you only did that. You have to really do that, I guess, in the wintertime. I mean, technically, because that's even Florida does have winter.
Yeah, it gets too hot. It's just too hot to hike in the summer.
Yeah, and there's bugs and mosquitoes and everything like that, and also those things called no-shoulders that I'm assuming you still ran into some of those. I'm sure you saw some of those on your trail because this trail is not like the Appalachian Trail. I mean, there were times I'm not sure you knew where the trail was.
Well, a good example was Bradwell Bay Wilderness area. You go through 5 miles of deep swamp. I mean, I'm talking about deep. I'm talking about most of it's waist deep.
You were in waist deep water?
Well, water and mud combination. The mud is about half of that.
Okay.
So it's very, very difficult to hike through there, and you got 5 miles to get through there and get out before dark. And that was the most challenging thing I think I've ever done, short of the MR340 paddle in Missouri.
Good night. Yes, I can imagine. And they don't know what that meant, the MR3.
Well, the Ironman competition in the paddling world,
yes,
is the MR340. It's a Missouri River 340-mile paddle. You got to do it in 80. You got 85 hours to do it in, so you're racing the clock. And I hold the record as the oldest person to ever complete that trail within the time allotted.
Amazing.
Not that paddle, really, not that trail, but that paddle.
That paddle, yeah. Well, again, we're talking to Dale Sanders, bonus Dale, here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. I was about to let him get out the door, and I realized we got more time with him and everything like that. And I know you do a lot of work. You did a lot of work for the Conservancy and I'm assuming you're still involved with them. Are you?
Yes, whatever I can. My hiking to try to knock out this Eastern Continental Trail is pretty much taking most of my time, and with my presentations as well. But I'm still on the agenda. I'm still a river guide for them, and still volunteering whenever I can. The Wolf River Conservancy is a fantastic organization. They do so much for the community. And one of the things I would like to mention is every Saturday they do a first Saturday paddle somewhere on the Wolf River, and those are really popular. If you like to paddle, join the Conservancy first Saturday program and paddle with them a few times.
Do you have to know how to paddle?
No, you do not know how to. You do not have to have ever stepped in a boat before to paddle on those.
Yeah, and you're also what do you call river people passing through here?
Yeah, I'm a river angel for people paddling the source to sea on the Mississippi River.
And there are people doing that?
Oh, about 50 to 70 a year.
A year?
Yep.
Just go by Memphis. A lot of people don't even know this.
A lot of people don't even know I exist. But,
no.
But most of them with social media nowadays, most of them know, and many of them come to my house and sign the the official Paddlers Wall of Fame is at my house.
And we're talking again to Dale Sanders, and I know that Frank is sitting here listening to Dale as I sit in awe of what the man has accomplished and what he's become as the gray-beard adventurer. Have you always had a beard?
When I retired from the Navy Civil Service in 2002, something happened to my razor that day. I don't know what happened to it.
And
I think it ended up in the trash, and I haven't shaved since.
You haven't shaved since. You've trimmed it. You've kept it trimmed. It looks very nice, and everything. And because this man, what? Oh, he's got. Yeah, you got the ponytail. Is that the ponytail? I can't see it.
That's a real one. Yeah,
I know that's a real one. I don't think you got a fake one over there and everything like that. He does resemble this, and this all started. Did this all start with a whim, so to speak? You actually did, and if I'm not mistaken, early on, you actually hiked around the world, or you did?
Yeah, that's kind of what got me interested in hiking. Actually, my wife and I in 1981, we hiked around the world, and she and I together.
Around the world.
Yeah, well, we would fly. Would fly from country to country.
Well,
course,
sure.
But when we get to the countries, we only had backpacks on our back, and we just walk.
So what is your most? Let's get this. In what you've done, what it has been the most challenging?
Well, the Appalachian Trail is no question about it. It's the most challenging, most physically difficult.
It really it drains you, and
no question about that. But the thing that gave me probably early on the most recognition and the most what should I say, the most enjoyable thing was spearfishing. When I went on, I was national champion and went on to win an athlete of the year in spearfishing, and that's a worldwide award. They only give one a year away. So and that was in 1965. So that kind of set the stage for me to stay in the competitive world.
You are competitive.
One of the reasons I'm still there today is because of spearfishing.
Okay, now Frank, you've been sitting there listening to this man. Now,
yes.
Well, tell me what you're hearing here.
I'm feeling pretty inadequate right now, Larry. Quite honestly,
not really, Frank. One of my dreams is, one of my daydreams I dream about all the time, finding an Indian motorcycle, old one, covered up in a garage someplace.
We share that,
and that's the truth. I really do think about that on the trail a lot.
So you know the history of the Indian motorcycle?
I know a little bit about it. I remember seeing them back in the 40s and 50s.
And Teddy Roosevelt didn't.
1901 is when they started. I don't know if Teddy Roosevelt had one or not.
I bet he did. I just feel like it.
But there are a bunch of them out there, and you can find the barn finds. What they call. You find a barn. You find a 40 or 50s.
It's worth something.
You bet.
Well, and I saw that someone
especially the 40s.
someone just found a Corvette, like 54 Corvette in a barn that has never been in that barn all this time, and there's no estimate of the value. And so to hear Dale talk about the Indian motorcycle, I just visioned Dale on an Indian motorcycle going across the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Well, I can tell you, if I were to find one, I'd restore that baby.
You would?
Yes, sir.
Have you ridden a motorcycle?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever owned one?
Yeah, I've owned a couple of them.
Okay. See,
my younger years.
Your younger years. Now we're back to age again here and everything. Talking to Dale Sanders. So how do they find out? Give them information, Dale, about where they can find out about your journeys. You've got some videos, I know, on your website, don't you? I mean, you have some.
Yeah, you Google my name, Dale Sanders, or Google Graybeard. Also, my website, graybeardadventura.com, or my Facebook page, Dale Sanders.
And he's made so many friends around the world. I know in the Florida trip, I was following you. You know, I didn't use Spot Tracker then, I think, but I was keeping up with you. And I was just amazed at how many people you would find that knew you in places that I said, how in the world would they know you? But social media has really, yeah. Can you imagine if you'd have done this at 64?
Yeah, I couldn't have done it. There's no way I could be as recognized in the hiking world and the boating world as I am now without social media.
Social media.
Absolutely no way.
Well, it's pretty amazing. So, Dale, thank you again. Now we're really going to let you go. Okay, I got to move you out here a little bit, but the one and only Dale Sanders, the Graybeard Adventurer, always one of our favorite guests on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Godspeed, Dale. We're going to let you go this time, and then we're going to take a break. Come right back.
Fair winds and following seas.
And what was that thing you said about you got a great motto, and I can't remember now, about his steps and footprints or whatever it was. You don't remember saying it either, do you?
No, I'm still feeling inadequate.
All right, we'll be right back.